TV, great to have you with us for a Thursday night heading into the Easter weekend, so some time off and no doubt a chance after a couple of rounds for everybody to put their feet up. Big show last night, it was fantastic. Craig Freeman joins me at the desk tonight. Last night, Craig, we went the top 5 guards, homegrown females from the last decade in the Big V. We put a very, very good list together, but some great comments and feedback and suggestions coming through on the Big V Facebook page after last night's show. And no doubt we're going to get the same tonight because we're going with the top 5 homegrown men. And I've got to tell you, it was tough.
Yeah, and obviously lots of great suggestions. We could have replaced those 5 with another 10 names.
Ooh, don't know about replace.
Not replace.
There were some good suggestions.
There was always
that came
good
up.
suggestions that could come up, and
but you got to leave one out.
Yeah,
you got to leave one
that's the point.
out.
We're going with 5. As always, there's going to be people who disagree, but it's a subjective list at the end of the day.
Well, when we sat down to do the top 5 homegrown male guards, I've got to tell you, it was all out war at the table between Craig, Steve-O and myself. And we made a few phone calls and we got some advice here and there. We had to call in the lawyers at one stage just to make sure that we were still on friendly speaking terms. But gee, it was tough.
Tough to get it down to 5, wasn't it? We all had 5 each and it added up to about 12 different players. There was that many options.
Well, can we send out some apologies to start off with?
You want to open up with it?
Well, okay, no, we won't.
We'll go through a couple of lists.
Okay.
We'll go through a couple.
Well, there's some no-brainers. There's some absolute no-brainers. Top 5 homegrown male guards from the last decade in the Big V.
Yep.
No particular order, although I reckon this guy's number 1. Matt Snowball.
Absolute legend. How many years has he won Golden Hands in a row now?
Oh, they just give him the award in round 1.
I think
don't even worry about getting to the awards tonight.
I haven't talked to the people who do this, who organise this sort of stuff, but surely we can just change the name to the Matt Snowball Award.
Well, it should be. I think that's a very good suggestion, Craig, and I would like to think, and I'll put this on him because he's looking super fit at the moment. I'd love to see Matty. He could run around this league for another 10 years. He could play for another decade.
He is so good at doing all the little things, and he's so smart. And after all these years, the young point guards still can't get past him on the floor.
If Axel Dench and Luke Egan can go into their 40s, I'm telling you now. Matt Snowball can do it for sure. If you're ever confused out at a game, by the way, watching Ringwood, he just goes by the name Snow these days, but it is still Matty Snowball out there. He makes the list hands down.
Definitely.
I reckon this next guy would be very hard to tip out as well. Jason Reardon, the pigskin kicker, the Swiss Army knife, the sack himself. Jason Reardon has to be on the list of top 5.
Unbelievable player, so versatile, can score, can do whatever the team needs, is a great defender, can shoot the ball, can pass the ball, like Snowball, still going around and still just as strong as ever. Out there for Waverley at the moment after a number of years at Corio Bay. Absolute superstar and still at the top of his game.
I defy you to put together a list without Matt Snowball and Jason Reardon not in the top 5 homegrown guards for the last
I think it's impossible and speaks volumes of him that we both had them
straight away
in our all-star team.
Eyes closed. The next player, I certainly don't forget the magic that this guy brought to the court in the Big V. We saw him play NBL as well, and he was a superstar at that level. He's captain at NBL level, just superstar. But gee, I saw him deliver some of the most memorable games in Big V history. Daryl Corletto. Absolute
Superstar.
Yep.
He averaged 33.5 points per game in 1 year. 2003.
Yes, and probably 33.5 assists in the same year.
In 2008, he made the All-Star 5, 1 Golden Hands, and 1 Grand Final MVP.
Without doubt. Again, I defy you to have a list of 5 without Daryl Corletto on that list. He was such an exciting player to watch, and especially when he's at Ringwood. When they needed a basket, get out of his way. He would just step up and deliver time and time again.
Unstoppable. It was actually probably one of the most unstoppable players I've seen.
He's probably one of the only guys I've seen hit a 3-pointer from the 7th tee at the Ringwood Golf Club behind the stadium. He was a lot of fun to watch. Now the next player, he didn't play a lot of years in Big V, but if you're talking homegrown, absolute guy that's come through the system, went on and played NBL. And a lot of guys, a lot of fans probably wouldn't instantly remember some of the fun times that he delivered out on a Big V court. I'm heading down to the valley. Reece Carter.
Yeah, and he's done it all over the world too, hasn't he? He's played in Europe, he's played at the top levels in Australia, and just one of the most dependable players you can have on your team.
Yeah, didn't play for all 10 years that we're talking about, but geez, the time that he spent in the league, just remember him putting that energy uniform on. Reece Carter was a lot of fun to watch, and just a absolute sheer competitor.
Absolute
just
superstar.
Compete.
You wouldn't want to go to battle with many more people than him.
No. So we've gone Snowball, Reardon, Corletto, Carter. I think that's a pretty good fall. Now, can I put some apologies out before we go with our final player?
Could shock some people. Yeah.
Well, our final player didn't play a lot of basketball in the Big V. Is it fair to say that?
I think it's fair to say that.
Right, okay. So, some apologies. Big swinging Willie Weimer. Big swinging Willie. I mean,
we can nearly have him in the guards and the forwards list.
But we mentioned him the other day, a couple of weeks ago, gone but not forgotten. Just one of the greatest characters that you'd come across in Big V, and I'll tell you now, there wouldn't be a player that wouldn't have played for Big Swinging Willie. He was a true leader. He's on the coaching staff out there at Ringwood right now. But Willie Weimer, deepest apologies, mate, because you could quite easily be in that five. Lee Jecker. Still running around.
Still, he was my starting guard on the All-Star team. He's still a gun.
Hasn't made our top 5, but I'm sure there's other people out there
he's
that
still going. So if we did this in 5 more years,
yes. I'm not sure if he's playing this season. I didn't see him run around in round 1, but geez, he compiled a CV like few others in the Big V over the last 10 years. Liam Norton.
Yeah, it was a very, very tough player to leave off the actual list. What can you say about him? He's just dominated for a number of years in the league. Here's
a player, speaking of domination, he spent some time in Siebel as well, but when he played Big V, he was a lot of fun to watch. Johnny Lee.
Yeah, he just got the job done
every
week. How many years would he have played in the 10?
Not exactly sure. Spent some time out at Warrandyte, played up at Sherbrooke. A lot of fun to watch, Johnny Lee. Anyway, I just want to make sure that he got a mention.
A lot of honourable mentions here.
He had to get a mention. Speaking of mentions, gone but not forgotten, he made that list, Jay Allen. Yeah, Jay Allen was a great guard.
You had a big spiel about him on the show. Of course, no one forgets him. And one of the most memorable players in the league.
Speaking of Ringwood's coaching staff and another former Hawk, a lot of fun to watch. He'll just love the fact that we're remembering him and giving him an honourable mention. Damien Smith. I'll tell you what, he was a player and also went and played Mount Gambier, I think, for a while as well. He was a lot of fun to watch, Damo.
And you go through this list and you see about 5 Ringwood players, and you look at who's won the championships, and it sort of correlates.
Want to give Damo a mention. Brad Kelleher, recent times, very, very good as well.
Yeah, still going around, great player.
Look, there's lots and lots of guards. I want to give an extra special honourable mention to one more player, because he has been pipped. For good reason, by the way.
Literally the last 10 seconds.
Pipped at he was on the list. And then we had to call the lawyers in, because we've all sat there and gone, we've forgotten one player. And this player has to be on the list. Can I just send an extra special mention to Nathan Sobey? Hasn't played a whole heap of games in the Big V over the last 10 years. But you talk about Homegrown, one of Warrnambool's absolute finest. And he delivered some memorable moments when he was wearing the green of the Seahawks.
There is a photo of him shooting a jumper in the grand final with a sea of green behind him. Yeah. And to me, it's one of my favourite Big V photos of all time. It just symbolises so much about the league.
Can I just say to Sobes and the Sobey family down there in Warrnambool, if we could go 6, you are there, son. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But we just could not possibly miss the chance to go all-time top 5 male guards from the last 10 years. How many games did he play in the league?
22.
Is that it? I'm looking over.
We both looked on camera.
Ben Simmons has to be there, doesn't he?
I mean, he's an absolute superstar in the NBA. I don't think it's possible to leave him off this list.
And there's plenty of guards in the Big V in the last 10 years that delivered bigger and better stats than Ben Simmons, but I'm not leaving him off the list.
I think I'm a bit scared to leave him off the list.
How many points a game did he have? I'm not leaving you. How many games did he play? Did you just say 6?
He played 6
games.
Still played.
I'm not gutsy enough to leave him off the list because he will go down as arguably the greatest ever Australian basketballer by the time his career finishes. And I want to make sure that when that happens, there isn't someone out there that goes, yeah, but those guys didn't have him on the top 5 list of guards in the Big V. Anyway, so there you go. So look, some ripping plays.
We'll get some comments for sure.
Yeah, and we're having a little bit of fun with it, no doubt about it. But I defy you to leave some of those players out of your top 5.
And what's crazy to me is how many players are still playing.
Yeah, plenty of them. Well, it's the last 10 years,
Yeah.
so, you know, some of them still running around. Hey, listen, I hope you've had a lot of fun with that. Get on the Facebook page and name some guards that we've missed because there's plenty of them. Make no mistake, there's stacks of them. Tomorrow night, something a little bit special tomorrow night. I'm heading off to the airport right now. I've got my bags packed and I'm heading off. You and Steve-O will be back here as we head into Easter. You'll be here tomorrow night, okay? Yep. Good Friday tomorrow, by the way. Did you know that?
We're coming in on a day off.
Absolutely, you're coming on a day off. You do know that, don't you?
Didn't know that.
That's part of the deal, mate.
Right.
Anyway, tomorrow night, right here, back at the desk, you and Steve-O will be here, and I'll be coming to you from another part of the world. And if you love your basketball, you are going to want to tune in because I am going to be in the absolute heart of some pretty special basketball territory. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, what I don't get is you've taken Monday and Tuesday off to rest and recover.
I've taken plenty of time
So me and
off.
Steve have had to fill the void.
I've taken plenty of time off. Don't complain, Craig.
You've been in Melbourne for 2 days, and now you need to fly out again for another holiday.
Craig, just to put you back in your place, mate, I've been doing this for 9 years. You've just burst onto the scene, mate. You've got a lot of territory to make up. Hey, have a great night. Hope you've enjoyed the lists last night and tonight. Top 5 guards, homegrown. Next week, we're doing top 5 homegrown forwards.
Yep, male and female.
Look forward to that already. Make sure you're back with us tomorrow night, Big V TV, 5:30. Pretty special, coming to you from, well, Party Town. Can I say that? Party Town. The Big V budget has exploded this year, and they're sending me OS. I'm looking forward to it.
You're the only one receiving that money now.
The only one. We'll be back here tomorrow night on Big V TV. See you then.